You know, the sad thing about this whole story is that the U.S. would accept the tranny, would take them, and allow them to seek asylum here, even though it was something, like what would be the moral equivalent of this if, like, a Dutch tranny, I guess, came to the United States and claimed they were unsafe in the Netherlands, like they couldn't go back to the Netherlands because they feared for their lives. The U.S. would be like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." Well, I don't know. Hopefully, under the Trump administration, that won't be the case. But historically, we would have just because asylum seeking, it's so easy to get asylum in the United States. Just cry at the border, and you'll get asylum. U.S. trans woman challenges Dutch asylum rejection. Yeah. So Veronica Clifford Carlos, a 28-year-old visual artist from California, says she no longer feels safe in the United States. That's stupid. You should feel perfectly safe in the United States. You're 28 years old. You've already like fully transitioned. There's nothing in the Trump administration, like nothing that's been laid out there is going to prevent you from being trans. You could still be trans. You're still going to get your hormones. Like there's nothing stopping you. Like this is stupid. What's the word? Just, like not hyperbolic. Um, she's just blowing everything just way out of proportion. A 28-year-old transgender woman, so a man, from the U.S. began a legal challenge on Wednesday to the rejection of her asylum application in the Netherlands when she had sought political asylum, saying she no longer felt safe in the United States. See, obviously, the Dutch know that that's a giant crock of shit. It's like, listen, bitch, are they killing trans people in the streets? And then she's gonna say like, yes. That's the problem, is that she would say yes, but then the Dutch will go, no, they're not. No, they're not. Stop it. Stop it, you silly bitch. Veronica Clifford Carlos, a visual artist from California. What the fuck is a visual artist? What does that mean? Like, what is that? Came to the Netherlands, the first country to legalize same-sex marriage and known for its strong protections of LGBTQ rights. Because the Trump administration's policies toward transgender people made her feel unsafe, her lawyer's office said. What policies? Like, yeah, you can't give puberty blockers and irreversible surgeries to children anymore. Yeah, if in certain government buildings in certain states, you have to piss in the bathroom you were like that assigns to your sex at birth. And I mean, if you pass well enough, you could still probably just use the ladies' room and nobody's gonna know. It's nobody's trying to kill you. You have no reason to feel unsafe. It's stupid, and the Dutch can see that. The case, the first of its kind in the Netherlands, will be heard in a court in Amsterdam starting Wednesday, with a ruling expected in 4 to 6 weeks. Since taking office in January, President Donald Trump has issued executive orders limiting transgender rights, banned transgender people from serving in the armed forces, and rescinded anti discrimination policies for LGBTQ people. Of course, NBC News is going to, spin it to sound as horrible as possible. Limiting transgender rights, all that does is just says, okay, you can't piss in certain bathrooms. You can't go into like locker rooms with little girls. You know, all that says is, ban transgender people from serving in the armed. They shouldn't be serving in the armed forces in the first place. And rescinded anti-discrimination policies for LGBT. All that does is that means now, um, like doctors are allowed to say no. I'm not going to treat you. It's a. I'm not going to. You know, doctors are now allowed to say, I'm not going to give you, hormones because it's against my religion, or just for whatever reason, conscientious objection. It's just like, this is, even if you're not a religious doctor, if you just say this is bad, we're taking people with a severe mental illness and we're encouraging them to give in to their delusions and mutilate their bodies, and I won't be a part of it. So nobody's trying to kill you. Dutch advocacy group LGBT Asylum Support, which backs the lawsuit, is currently assisting around 20 U.S. trans individuals with pending asylum claims. According to data from the Immigration and Naturalization Service, 29 Americans applied for asylum in the Netherlands during the first half of this year. In previous years, there were between 9 and 18 applicants per year, and IND spokesperson said, quote, the IND generally states that discrimination by authorities and fellow citizens can be considered an act of persecution if it is so severe that victims can no longer function socially or societally. LGBT asylum support said in the statement. But the IND maintains that there are no grounds for exceptional treatment of transgenders or queer refugees from the United States. Yeah, because there's nothing going on here. We're not killed there's like trans people aren't suffering through like some kind of like horrible political persecution. It's if you're a trans woman, you're not allowed to, go into sports and beat up on women. You're not allowed to again, you're not allowed to go into locker rooms where children, where little girls change in front of them. You're not allowed to go into bathrooms and piss in bathrooms with small children. Like you're not allowed to, we're not allowing the mutilation of children anymore. This doesn't mean that anything's bad is going to happen to you. Like you're not going to get arrested, you're not going to get put in prison unless you're doing something, illegal. Being trans isn't illegal. Going to your doctor and getting HRT is not illegal. Dressing in women's clothing when you're a biological male or the opposite, vice versa, is not illegal. You are not being persecuted in any way. We're protecting children. We're protecting children from the more radical and extreme and predatory members of your community. Maybe the trans community should do a little better at self-policing. I don't know. But yeah, this is stupid. I think the Netherlands they're doing the right thing here. By rejecting this asylum claim, and hopefully they continue to reject it because she doesn't deserve political asylum. Just let it, because she's not in danger. Simple as. Anyway, do the algorithm stuff for me. I would go through the whole spiel, but my fucking head's killing me. So throw me a bone and an aspirin.